make my way. I just want to live.
Has anyone here ever made a bucket list? Yeah? Thank you. Of course. This is Mindvalley, right? So I made my first bucket list when I was 18 years old. I was a little girl from Texas with big dreams, small town. And I put so many crazy things on that bucket list. I mean, like over 200 things that I thought I'm going to have to live to be 100 years old for all of these things to come to fruition. And, you know, some of it was just like get married, have kids, you know, blah, blah, blah. But some of it was like start a business, make $1 million. Back then, I wanted to be an actor. So I was like, I want to make a movie with Oliver Stone. I want to meet Tom Cruise, like all those things, right? So I had this crazy list of things, and I put it in a drawer, and I forgot about it. 18 years later, I'm married, I have kids, I'm cleaning the house. I find the list. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going through, and I realize I start marking things off more and more and more. And I get through the whole list, and I had literally done everything in 18 years. I was at 36. Do the math, right? And I'm like, I had one thing left on the list, and it was to write a book. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to that someday, right? A few days later, bam, I'm in the hospital. There's an accident. I'm completely bleeding out. I'm sitting on the gurney. The doctor comes in. There's nurses. There's chaos. There's noise. It's freezing cold in there. It was so scary. Everyone's yelling at me, and they're like, the doctor comes up and says, this is life-threatening. You might not make it. My heart just stopped. I saw literally my whole life flash before my eyes. And I thought, my first thought was, did I manifest this? Because it bucket list, but I didn't just put bucket list. I had written things I want to do before I die. And here's the list completely marked off, except for one thing, just a few days earlier. How powerful are our words? Okay? So then I thought, oh my gosh, I can't die. What about my family? What about my business? What about my laundry? What about all these unfinished things in my life that I still have to do, even the one on the list, the one left? So, spoiler alert, I made it. But 2 days later, my son Carson died in my arms. Let me tell you, nothing prepares you for that. And I remember at that moment saying, I am never going to love anyone this much again because it hurts too much. It hurts too much. I didn't know how to deal with it. There's not a book that tells you how to cope. I shut down so hard. I didn't care if anything survived. I didn't care if anything in my life was going to be this. I couldn't deal with it. So I had all this grief. And my marriage, after 16 years, crumbled because we both dealt with grief in different ways. And then the business that I spent 20 years building was gone almost overnight, my only source of income. And then I went through bankruptcy, foreclosure, tax audits, tax court. I had to represent myself in federal tax court because I had no money to hire anybody. And then when our family dog, Daisy, died, I didn't even have the money to bury her. It was $100. I didn't even have it. I would be at the grocery store and I'd have to put food back. Anybody ever been that broke? Yeah, I see a few heads nodding. And I went to my son's school and all the kids had these projects on the wall. And it said, what would you do with $1 million? Some of the kids are like, Disneyland, because it's that expensive. I'd buy an Xbox, all these things. And then I see my sons. I see all these parents crowding around and they're reading it. And I'm like, what are they looking at? And my son had drawn a piece of paper and he said, if I had $1 million, I would give it to my mom. So we don't have to move again. Because we had to move 4 times in 18 months. And there was a point where we were literally going to be homeless if I didn't have help from someone like my parents. And it was like horrible to ask your parents for money. I was a single mom with 3 kids. I had plenty of time. So, long story short, I finally did something that changed everything for me. And I went from negative 3.6 million to positive 4 million. In 18 months, because I finally wrote that book and I started sharing my story. Miles Monroe said, the greatest treasure on earth is not the gold mines of South Africa. It's not the oil wells of the Middle East. The greatest treasure is in the graveyard, right down the road. So don't die with your dream in you, and remember that someday is not a deadline. Thank you.
I'm a Persian with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful.
Wow, you made us laugh, you made us cry, you gave some amazing lessons. This is outstanding talk.
Thank you.
The way you moved your body and used the stage to show us all the points, it was absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Melanie.
Thank you for all your help.
That was really, really good. You've up-leveled every single day you've been here, and this time you went really deep. You pulled from inside, and you showed us contrast, you showed us emotion, and powerful lesson. I want to say thank you so much for sharing that, and well done.
Thank you so much.